Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Today we have news that all Garten of Banban fans have been waiting for a long time. Finally, Garten of Banban 8 is coming. Yes, you heard it right. The new chapter of this beloved horror series is just around the corner, and the official release date will be announced very soon. So get ready, because we are in for lots of excitement, mysteries, and of course, tons of theories to discover together. So this is the right time to make new theories. The first thing I want to focus on is the main menu of Garten of Banban 8. We already know that the menus in previous chapters were full of creepy details, with backgrounds that told hidden stories and hinted at events in the game. So what can we expect in the new menu's background? Will it be a completely new setting, maybe a darker room, or will classic elements return but renewed in a scarier way? And what kind of sounds or music will accompany us while we wait to start our adventure? Right after, we will talk about another very fascinating element, the clock screen. For those who don't know, it's that special screen that appears when we start a new game, almost like a countdown or a kind of introduction that prepares us for the horror that's coming. In the previous episodes, this screen always had a hidden meaning, details that maybe we overlooked, but that can give us important clues about the theme or story of the game. So, we will make theories together about how the clock screen could be in Garten of Banban 8, what kind of symbols, colors or animations might be present, and what all of this could mean for the story waiting for us. Before we go on though, I want to remind you of something very important. If you are as passionate about Garten of Banban as I am, and don't want to miss any updates, theories or curiosities about Chapter 8, subscribe to the channel right now and give a big like to this video. So let's start with this new video. Now let's talk about the main menu. The main menu is the very first thing we see when we launch the game. It's also the first screen we interact with. It may seem like a simple introduction, but in reality, it's full of hidden details and symbolism that prepare us for everything we're about to experience in the chapter. Each main menu from the previous chapters has been unique and recognizable, becoming almost iconic for its respective chapter. Think about it. When we see the background of the menus from Garten of Banban 2, 4 or 7, just one look is enough to instantly know which game it belongs to. But there's one thing that most of them have in common, and that's the presence of the famous Banban family mural. This mural has become a true symbol of the series. It has always appeared in the background of the main menus, except for Chapter 0, where the choice was intentionally different. Also, each menu is always set in one of the main areas of the chapter. For example, in Chapter 7, the menu was set in a mysterious, abandoned city, and in the background, you could clearly see the Banban family mural. That detail drove all the fans crazy. Now, in Chapter 8, we expect to see something similar, but with some important differences. The final trailer revealed something very interesting, the arrival of the Flambeau family. This new family is actually the same exact Banban family from Chapter 1, but with one major change. Banban himself has been replaced by Flambeau, while all the other characters remain the same. That's why in the main menu of Garten of Banban 8, we might see a mural very similar to the original one, but featuring Flambeau instead of Banban. It's a creative choice that might carry a deeper narrative meaning, and it immediately tells us that this chapter is going to be very different from the previous ones. But is it just a visual change? Or does this new mural hide something deeper, something tied to the story, the characters, and the fate of Banban's kindergarten? We'll find out very soon. But I also want to add some extra details along with a personal reflection on what we might expect. In fact, this time the main menu could be very different compared to what we saw in Chapter 7 and the ones before. The Euphoric brothers have stated multiple times, both in messages and in the trailer, that Chapter 8 will be a massive leap forward compared to the past. Not just in terms of technical improvements, but also in style, storytelling, and especially horror. They clearly said this will be a new era for the series, a new beginning, and when a game takes a big step forward like this, even the main menu can reflect that transformation. So we might not just see a simple background with the Flambeau family mural instead of the original Banban family, but maybe something deeper and more innovative. Maybe the entire visual style of the menu will be different. Maybe there will be more movement, more dynamic effects, or even interactive elements. And let's not forget about the atmosphere. After all, we're talking about a horror game, and what better opportunity to create a truly horror-style main menu that immediately puts the player on edge even before starting. Maybe we'll have creepy music playing in the background, dim lighting, shadows moving across the screen, or even some hidden jump scares right in the menu itself. So personally, I expect a menu that's not just visually appealing, but one that instantly sets the darker and scarier tone of this new chapter. So my friends, Let's get ready not only to see the Flambeau family painted on the wall, but also to experience something completely new from the very first second we launched the game. A main menu that's upgraded, more polished, more horror, and full of improvements compared to the past. And now, as promised, let's dive into the heart of the theories and talk about the clock screen. And now, as promised, let's talk about the legendary clock screen. This is the screen that appears right at the beginning of every new chapter, before the actual gameplay starts. It has become one of the most recognizable features of the series, a kind of ritual that all fans know and love, and it welcomes us every time as we dive once again into the nightmare of Banban's kindergarten. The clock screen has appeared in every single chapter of the series, from the first to the latest. And there's no reason to think chapter 8 will be any different. In fact, since this new chapter marks a major turning point in the saga, it's very likely that the clock screen will get a visual or structural upgrade to reflect the more horror-driven and mature tone of the game. As you know, in every clock screen we have to click 5 times on the clock icon to start the game. It's a simple mechanic, but now it's become iconic, building up a short moment of tension before the horror begins. But there's another really interesting detail. The clock icon is always based on the main mascot of the chapter. For example, in chapter 7, the mascot was Syringon, so the clock icon showed Syringon's head as the design. This little visual touch immediately tells us who the central character will be and sets the tone for their role in the story. In chapter 8, the main mascot is Flambeau, so it's very likely that the clock icon in the new screen will feature Flambeau's head, probably in a cartoonish yet creepy style, just like the series loves to do. But that's not all. Usually, in the background of the clock screen, we see static images, almost like still frames, that give us an early glimpse of environments or events connected to the chapter. These images don't move, but they still manage to create a strong atmosphere with their colors, composition, and visual hints. In chapter 8, we might see in the background some of the new areas we'll explore in the game. For example, we could get our first look at the infamous prison, which has been talked about for months. Or maybe the Syringon Clinic, a location that might connect back to chapter 7 and help us understand more of his story. But I also wouldn't rule out the possibility of seeing completely new areas, never shown in any trailer yet. That would be a perfect way to build hype and give subtle clues to the most attentive fans even before the game actually begins. So the clock screen in chapter 8 might surprise us in ways we don't expect. And I seriously can't wait to analyze it frame by frame as soon as we get our hands on the game. And here we are at the end of this video dedicated to Garten of Banban 8. We talked about the latest news and most importantly our theories about the main menu and the clock screen. Two key elements that could give us an early taste of the darker and more innovative atmosphere of this new chapter. We saw how the presence of the Flambeau family could change the style of the main menu, and how the clock screen might show us brand new areas or maybe direct connections with past chapters. In short, we're in for a truly unique chapter, and I can't wait to play it together with all of you. If you enjoyed the video, leave a big like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next theories, analysis and gameplay videos all about Garten of Banban 8. The new chapter finally is coming very soon. Thank you so much for the support you give me every single day. You're amazing. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.